Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports that oil prices, specifically Brent crude, have surged above $106 per barrel. This significant jump is attributed to heightened tensions between the United States and Iran in the crucial Strait of Hormuz, a vital maritime route for global energy transport. The escalation follows a series of tit-for-tat captures of commercial vessels by both nations. U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that he had ordered the U.S. Navy to destroy any Iranian boats laying mines and declared that no ship could transit the strait without U.S. Navy approval. This statement came shortly after the Pentagon seized a tanker carrying sanctioned Iranian oil. In response, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed to have seized two foreign cargo ships, the Panamanian-flagged MSC Francesca and the Greek-owned Epaminondas, for allegedly operating without permits and tampering with navigation systems. Though Greece denies the latter's capture, these confrontations have drastically reduced commercial vessel transits in the strait, from an average of 129 daily before the U.S. and Israel launched their war against Iran on February 28 to just 79 daily recently, indicating a severe deadlock impacting global shipping and energy markets. NTD News reports that Taiwan has issued a strong rebuke following China's public denial of the existence of its president. Taiwan's officials stated that China's comments serve as additional proof of Beijing's consistent stance on the matter. Furthermore, they cautioned politicians against harboring unrealistic expectations regarding China's approach and policies towards the self-governing island. This incident highlights the ongoing diplomatic tensions and conflicting views on Taiwan's sovereignty between Beijing and Taipei, underscoring Taiwan's resolve to assert its independent status despite pressure from mainland China. According to NHK, a high-ranking official from the U.S. Department of Defense has stated that reinforcing the deployment of U.S. forces in Japan is one of the top priorities in the Indo-Pacific region. John No, Assistant Secretary of Defense for Indo-Pacific Security Affairs, testified before the House Armed Services Committee, emphasizing that the U.S. is strengthening its military posture to deter aggression along the first island chain, stretching from Japan's Nansei Islands to the Philippines. No expressed optimism regarding Japan's ongoing efforts to enhance its defense capabilities, noting the current administration's strong mandate, but also indicated that more work needs to be done. Furthermore, U.S. Forces Korea Commander Xavier T. Brunson highlighted the significant shift in regional dynamics due to growing cooperation among North Korea, Russia, and China. He warned that North Korea is acquiring military supplies from Russia and China, altering its weapon development and operational patterns, which demands careful attention. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has warned the United Kingdom that it will face high tariffs if it continues to impose a tech tax on American companies such as Apple, Google parent company Alphabet, and Facebook parent company Meta. This warning was issued just before King Charles III's upcoming visit to the United States. The 2% digital services tax introduced by the UK in 2020 has been criticized by both Trump and his Democratic predecessor, Joe Biden. Trump, speaking at the White House on Thursday, April 23rd, stated, "If they don't cancel this tax, we may impose high tariffs on the UK." King Charles III and Queen Camilla are scheduled to visit the U.S. for 4 days starting April 27th, during which the king will meet with Trump at the White House. When asked by the BBC if the king's visit would help mend bilateral relations, Trump responded positively, describing King Charles III as a very good person, a courageous and great man. Trump also commented on his relationship with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, indicating that relations could only recover if Starmer changes his stance on immigration. This news is reported by Lenhi Thrait Sabao. 联合早报 reports that the United States has sanctioned Cambodian Senator Kok An, a close ally of Cambodia's Senate President and former Prime Minister Hun Sen, along with 28 other individuals and entities. These sanctions stem from accusations that they leveraged political connections to shield a sophisticated scam network. This network allegedly employed sweet trap schemes, luring vulnerable U.S. citizens with promises of friendship or romance and high returns, ultimately defrauding them of millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. The WEAT's Treasury Department specifically stated that Senator Kok An, a wealthy individual, used his political influence to protect this fraud operation. His numerous companies, including Crown Resorts, reportedly owned properties used as scam dens. Furthermore, victims of human trafficking claimed they were forced to work in these scam compounds under violent threats to extort money from Americans. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent remarked that combating fraud is a top priority for the Trump administration, vowing to continue targeting fraud operations and their networks globally. This action was jointly initiated by the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, and the Interagency Anti-Fraud Center Strike Force, which also announced indictments against 2 individuals for operating scam hubs in Myanmar and attempting to establish one in Cambodia. The Cambodian embassy in the U.S. has not yet responded to Reuters' request for comment. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.